Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the mind of someone you probably know. You know that one person who, when everything goes wrong and everyone else in the room is totally panicking, just goes completely quiet and hyper-focuses on the broken object? Yeah, we are looking at them. Why do some people spend literally hours fixing a problem instead of just buying a replacement? Well, let's explore the psychological engine and the modern sociological meaning behind the deep urge to fix.
Okay, picture this. It's a very visceral, familiar scenario. It's 6:52 p.m., you've got wet grocery bags sweating on the counter, your phone is buzzing nonstop in your pocket, and it's just total chaos. Suddenly, the dishwasher starts making this horrific grinding sound. Now, while most people would totally stress out and immediately call a repair service, someone with a fixer mindset does something different. They simply kneel on the cool tile. They listen, they analyze the grind and the silence that follows. They completely detach from the kitchen chaos, and they won't stop until they find that tiny piece of glass jammed in the filter. And look, this isn't just stubbornness. It's actually a highly specific mental response.
We see a really clear divide here. The modern instinct is almost always to panic and outsource the problem, right? To just say, let someone else handle it. But the fixer mindset, it narrows its focus and isolates the source. Staying calm in moments of utter ambiguity is actually a deeply learned mental defense mechanism. While the rest of the world feels totally out of control, that broken machine transforms into a solvable, manageable little universe.
Let's move to Section 1, the psychological engine, decoding the competent mind. Consider this fascinating concept called embodied cognition. Imagine walking into a freezing basement because the heater isn't working. You touch the casing with one hand, you feel the airflow with the other, and instantly you just know what's wrong. You didn't read this in a textbook. This knowledge literally lives in your hands and your muscle memory. Fixers understand the world through touch, through sound, and through past failures. It creates this profound, unspoken connection between the mind and the physical world. At the core of all this is psychologist Albert Bandura's concept of self-efficacy. Now, this isn't about having an inflated ego, not at all. It's the quiet, solid confidence of knowing your effort actually matters. Self-efficacy is the ultimate deciding factor in whether you give up or keep going when you're facing a deeply ambiguous problem. If you truly believe your actions can change an outcome, your entire stance against adversity completely transforms. And the crucial point here is the internal locus of control. People with a high internal locus of control genuinely believe life isn't just something that happens to them, it's a process they can actively direct. Staying solution-oriented during stressful situations acts as a massive psychological shield. It actively lowers your anxiety and increases your tolerance for crises. Why? Because you know that even if bad luck strikes, you can probably reverse it with a wrench, a screwdriver, or just some clear, logical thinking.
Which brings us to Section 2. The origin story. How fixers are actually made.
So there are two very different childhood paths that build this mindset, and the contrast is striking. On one hand, you have healthy confidence built through mastery experiences, basically tinkering, playing, and solving small problems as a kid. But on the other hand, there is a heavy survival mechanism known in psychology as parentification. For some children, fixing things and being useful was literally the only way to feel safe and accepted in a chaotic household. It just goes to show how incredibly lasting early childhood responsibilities are on adult attachment and our overall sense of confidence. The good news is, parents can actively pass down this invaluable problem-solving skill. And we aren't talking about forcing a kid to memorize a technical manual. It's about teaching a relationship to difficulty. Instead of just giving a child the answer, hand them the tool. Let them sit in the ambiguity and struggle of it. Praise the process and their patience, not just the final result. Honestly, this is the golden key to raising deeply resilient, independent individuals. Now, fixers are often perceived as cold or distant, but they actually show love in a very different way. When a partner complains about the cold, instead of just saying, "I hear you," and validate your feelings, they go and caulk the drafty window. Psychologists call this instrumental support. For a mind that finds emotional complexities super clumsy, fixing a mechanical problem is a profound, concrete act of love. It is literally emotion translated into something the hand can finish. Moving on to Section 3, analog peace and digital chaos. This is the sociological battlefield. Our relationship with physical objects has drastically evolved over the years. Think about it. In the 1930s, repairing things was a matter of basic survival during the Great Depression. By the 1950s post-war boom, we had sudden abundance, but those repair skills were still proudly passed down. Today, though, We face this disposable, digital culture completely built on fast consumption. The new is marketed as progress, while repairing the old is viewed as backward. And this creates a very serious conflict for the modern human. Think about your digital life for a second. The feedback is highly subjective, right? Emails, social media, your performance at the office, they're all ambiguous and generate endless anxiety. There is no definitive answer to whether a meeting went perfectly well. But mechanical repair, it is the exact opposite. Something is broken, you intervene, and it works. The feedback is absolute and totally verifiable. People naturally gravitate toward the soothing, bounded nature of physical, mechanical tasks to find a mental sanctuary away from all that fast-paced, uncontrollable digital chaos. And this is exactly why someone spending 5 hours fixing a $60 lawnmower isn't just being stubborn. It is a quiet, powerful sociological rebellion against the overwhelming speed imposed by consumer culture and the toxic idea that everything is just easily replaceable. It's an attempt to reclaim individual competence. It's a really meaningful stand against the hollowing out of personal effort. So let's get practical in Section 4, Building Your Own Resilience, the Actionable Blueprint. The secret of the fixer's mind is stepping right into that magical gap between broken and working, instead of just instantly externalizing the problem. And hey, you don't need to rebuild an entire car engine to boost your confidence. Self-efficacy is fed step by step through tiny, everyday wins that prove to your brain that your effort yields real results. To build this self-efficacy yourself, you can integrate 5 super simple exercises into your daily life right now. First, just tighten a loose screw or a door hinge. It takes 2 minutes, but it tells your brain, I can fix things. Second, make that difficult, pending phone call you've been avoiding. Third, reorganize a chaotic, bounded space, like just one single messy drawer, to limit chaos and regain a sense of control. Fourth, repair a small broken item instead of tossing it in the trash. And fifth, just pause. Before you instantly outsource a mechanical failure, spend just a few minutes observing it yourself. These little micro-successes compound over time, weaving deep psychological resilience right into your mind. Ultimately, it all comes down to one absolutely critical question. In the endless speed of our modern world, do you choose to instantly replace the broken things in your life, or do you choose to pause, put in the effort, and fix them? Because your relationship with broken objects actually reflects a profound truth about your boundaries, your resilience, and the kind of person you are deciding to become. So the next time something breaks, try kneeling on that cold tile and giving it a chance. Thanks so much for watching this explainer.